Welcome back to Summit Sunrise. I'm here with Michael Hornback, and we're talking about some insurance options for you. Now, you're representing Eagle Insurance, Michael, and you have been telling us some very interesting things about how we can kind of get involved in some of our options over the past few weeks with Jeffrey Bergeron.
Yep.
But, Jeffrey's, he's out, who knows what he's doing right now? I think he's off skiing somewhere.
Probably so. It'd be a good day.
Yeah, somebody has to work, right? Now, last week we were kind of catching up with you, and you were telling us about this ambulance program. What can you explain a little bit further for us?
Well, I would like to spend a few more minutes on this ambulance program because one of the most important features of the program I forgot to mention last week.
Okay.
And that is that this program has worldwide coverage. Now, what I'm hoping is that the folks from IBM and Coors Brewery and all are listening, because this benefit is not on your health insurance, and maybe you might want to think about it.
Right.
Because worldwide coverage, and just a short story, if I may here, this program came out, I guess, in February. It's been in Colorado for about 3 weeks now, and what I'm looking for, I can't find.
So this is hot off the press. This is something that you may not have already heard about. Okay.
Yes, it is. And I went out and bought this immediately for my family. It's $30.50 a month for the entire family. There's no deductibles, no co-insurance, no co-pays. Whatever kind of ambulance service is needed is paid for 100%. And so, my wife is from a town, or actually a village called Moldovka, in the Caucasus Mountains over by the Black Sea, where the Olympics are going to be in 2014.
Okay.
But if you want to find out where she's at, just drill a hole straight through. She's right on the other side of the world.
Okay, so just straight through. Straight through. Okay.
So, and she travels. She goes back and forth because that's her home, and she's getting ready to leave on Thursday for another trip to Moldovka. So if something happens to her on the way, she's got to go through Atlanta, Paris, Moscow, someplace else. I mean, it's an ordeal to get home.
Yeah.
But there's other people that travel like that, and if something were to happen, and it was an emergency, not just an accident, but it could be a sickness, maybe even one terrible case of the stomach flu or
right,
the
little food poisoning or something.
Yeah, and you have to get home. Well, this ambulance service is called MASA. It's the new program, and they'll come get you anywhere in the world. And I was looking at that, and if your spouse or family are traveling like that, you know that you've got good health insurance, but no ambulance service will cross the border. They won't go outside the country. This one will.
Really?
This is a brand new program.
Wow.
And what I was going to say, it doesn't have to be an injury. Reading from the actual contract here, a serious illness or injury that requires air transport of that sick or injured member in a specialized treatment. And another feature here that I was looking at, I read this contract actually, and found some other perks. I think when a member is hospitalized for more than 100 miles from home and they're there for 7 days, this company will send a family member and pay for it to go stay with you.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know any benefit, and I've sold health insurance for 40 years, so I think this is really hot. One thing that I'm cautioning everybody about is that with this program, if you change your residence, you have to notify them before a claim, because for some reason, if you move and don't tell them and have a claim, there's no coverage. That's something I've never seen before.
Okay.
So if you change your residence, that's important.
Okay, very important to know.
With these guys.
Okay. I gotcha.
And the plan covers, and I have read this, it says children who reside with the member or the member's own children and are chiefly dependent on the member, which includes grandchildren. So these days, there's a lot of folks who, because of the economy, have moved back home. We've heard that story,
Right.
and I mean, adults, it's just happening. So those people, if they move back in, whoever's in the household is covered.
Wow, okay.
And it doesn't even have to be a relative, but if they're dependent on living there, then they can be on this plan for $30.50 a month.
Okay.
So that was one of the things. And then also, Jeffrey and I talked about this last week. This is a great program, and it looks like an insurance policy, but it's not. This is an ambulance program, so I don't want to confuse anybody. This is not an insurance policy, and we decided also that illegal aliens and Catholics couldn't qualify.
I love it. That's what of course Jeffrey would go with the Catholics, and so if people were interested in not only setting up for this program, but maybe just had insurance questions in general, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that maybe have even lost their jobs and are looking for a program that might work, that they need to get, figured out for themselves. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, I think that my phone number's on the screen right now, but the best way to get in touch with me, it's all lowercase, M.A. Hornback at MedicareSpecialist.net, because I'm answering emails it's hard to answer the phone anymore.
Right, sure.
Fortunately, and I say thank you very much, I'm very grateful that my business is to the point to where I have a hard time keeping up with it.
Right.
But I'm glad, and I just hope it stays that way for a few more years till I can retire, maybe,
right.
if I can.
Go do all that traveling with your wife as she goes across the world.
Well, that's an issue. It takes her 4 days to get home. That's 8 days round trip, and I can't take a month,
Right.
if it was like a couple of days. But I mean, and you could get delayed in Moscow or someplace, and it might take a week to get home.
Wow.
It's kind of uncertain. So when she goes, she doesn't have a return flight till she gets there and tries to figure it out.
Oh my goodness. But obviously so important to have your loved ones covered, clearly, just with all their traveling. And I'm sure the same thing for you guys. So we are officially out of time this morning, Michael. But luckily, we'll hopefully be able to catch up with you again next week, find out a little bit more. And again, if people would like to get in touch with you, the best way is your email address?
Yeah, and there's all kinds of new stuff. You mentioned health insurance. There's
Right.
some new stuff out here that's not going to be subject to the government regulations. Maybe the insurance industry's trying to figure some things out, and it's very affordable. They're called limited benefit health plans. They're not called major medical.
Okay.
And they are structured in such a way that hopefully we're going to skirt around a whole lot of the regulation. But we'll see how all that goes. We know a decision's coming in June from the Supreme Court and things like that. So to try to advise somebody on health benefits right now, it might be true today and not true next month. But whatever's going on, I'm keeping up with it. That's my job, and I can help people walk through this, whatever's going to happen.
Well, I can tell you, I would definitely like that kind of guidance. I know that health insurance and just all the different programs out there can certainly be very confusing. So clearly get in touch with Michael if you have any questions. And thanks so much for coming on and sharing with us. We definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And yes, the massive program right there. We're gonna go ahead and take a break for a bit here, but we'll see you back here again live at 7:30 tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're officially in our off-season time bracket. So have a wonderful day out there, and we'll see you in the morning.